It's kind of strange. An oil company is going into EV charging with so much gusto, but that is exactly what we are looking at. Let's go ahead and get into it. British Petroleum is one of the largest corporations on the planet, operating petroleum services for a very long time. As a result, into the C-store business very heavily and adopting electric vehicle charging through those business verticals has started to expand throughout the world with additional electric vehicle charging services. However, there was an announcement they were going to be curtailing those efforts, but that is just not what I'm seeing in the United States, and it is really crazy what's going on. Every time I turn around, there's another freaking Gigahubs popping up somewhere. Let's go ahead and get into what's new. So time of use pricing is now a part of their mix. They were flat rate at 48 cents, but now they're doing this whole time of use gig, which was debuted at the LAX Gigahub during the load test event, and then also seen during the ribbon cutting that is now open. Let's go ahead and get into Gigahub activity. And before I do so, just keep in mind, a lot of people think these traditional petroleum companies like Shell Oil and British Petroleum, their efforts in EV charging are something called greenwashing, where they're just, throwing very small amounts of their overall revenue into something just to kind of placate the people who are bothering them for being in the petroleum industry. It's called greenwashing. Now, when I go through this, try to think if what you're seeing is a form of greenwashing or not, because I have my opinion. My opinion is no. This is a company moving with deliberation into a new revenue source of providing energy to electric vehicle transportation. Okay, so the Boston, Massachusetts, the Logan Airport Gigahub opened, and that was the first one to debut, after which we saw the one after that was actually in Milwaukee, but it's not really a Gigahub. It's a very small location. The next one to actually open was on the opposite coast, and this one opened just this past month with much fanfare. This was a really big deal, and the reason being, not only are there Alpitronic hyperchargers lined up in a row underneath the canopy at a very picturesque spot near LAX Airport, but there's also an attached facility with vending and restrooms for people to enjoy. So as you can see, very close to the airport, and that'll be a recurring theme here. But again, I do not see greenwashing in this picture. What I see is some pretty heavy investment by a international company trying to bootstrap a new revenue stream for providing charging services to electric vehicles. That's what I personally see. Okay, a little bit further up the coast in San Francisco, they opened another Gigahub, this one without a canopy near the San Francisco airport. Again, Alpitronic hyperchargers, all lined up in a row, ready to charge electric vehicles for, really these are geared for rideshare services, but they are open to the public as well. Chicago has a very large airport called O'Hare. When I was growing up close to O'Hare Airport, it was the busiest airport in the world. Before that title moved elsewhere, but very big airport, very big Gigahub. You can see the canopies going in, the signage. There are Alpitronic hyperchargers and the Tritium chargers as well. So these are all ones we have seen, but there's more coming. These are now getting into the area of ones we haven't seen before. And you can see recurring theme, Airport Gigahub. And most of these are at Hertz locations as well. But again, there's the canopies. You got Tritium lined up on both sides. And I don't know if there's any Alpitronic. If there are, they are out of frame. I have not been able to capture on a picture for this particular Gigahub. And this is near Houston, Texas. But Houston, Texas is a big Texas city, so they got two airports. They got this little one here that is coded HOU. But there's another one further to the north that's actually the bigger international airport. But that one has a Gigahub too, and just spotted recently. And actually, this airport is kind of hard to tell. So there's two pips, both of which indicate BP Pulse putting in very large charging stations right next to the airport. And the one that is pictured here is the one further up here in Humble, Texas. The one down here the cost for the project listed in the permitting is 1.6 million, which is the exact same amount for the cost for this project. So I suspect they had a problem with the property or zoning or something, and they just swung around. They did a pivot over to this location and are in the process of spinning it up over here instead. So I think this PIP is just going to be nullified and taken off, but maybe they're going to do 2 Gigahubs. I wouldn't put it past this crew. They are definitely Gigahub happy recently. They love opening Gigahubs. And going over what BP Pulse has said they're doing, by all accounts, they seem to be doing it. They're putting the charging into the gas stations. So those C-stores that they operate, those are all getting them. I don't actually track it all because it's a little too much for me to track all the gas stations that they're putting electric vehicle charging in. They do about, I don't know, sometimes 5 a week, sometimes 1 a week, sometimes none a week. But they're constantly churning out new gas station electric vehicle charging. And also Travel Centers of America they own, and putting them in at airports, as we saw. And the map, there's a BP Pulse map now and a new website if you want to see that. It is available on the internet. You could search there. But let's go under new locations that are under construction. Hebron, Ohio. This is a Travel Centers of America. You can see the Alpitronic hyperchargers. Again, greenwashing? No, I do not see greenwashing in these pictures. What I see is a major CPO getting spun up here, joining the Alpitronic charging game that everyone else seems to be on the bandwagon for. Phoenix, Arizona has kind of like a fence up or an area, but this is where the Gigahub is going to be going, but it's kind of quasi in construction, but it's been in limbo like this for quite a while. So I'm calling it under construction, but take that with a grain of salt. It's barely under construction. Eloy, Arizona, south of Phoenix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Alpitronic hyperchargers, which again dispels the greenwashing theory. That's a lot of infrastructure getting put in. And this is not just a token amount of money being spent. This is some serious capital getting put into the ground. El Paso, Texas. Recently, YouTuber Artie Penguin 1, his first name is Jacob, visited this site, and if you go to his channel, you'll be able to see a site visit video of this location. It's near El Paso, Texas, on Interstate 10, and as you can see, we see a reoccurring theme here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for a total of 12 stalls fed by Alpitronic hyperchargers. In table form. These are the ones that I'm calling the greenfield locations, where it's not attached to a Travel Centers of America. They're just taking a plot of land and putting in electric vehicle charging. And the ones that are at the Travel Centers of America locations, again in table form. Pausing here for a second. And very quickly, let's go to the map. What I have with this map is red is under construction, blue is known through permitting, the pink is known from NEVI awards, and we know that NEVI is kind of in a revitalized stage, so NEVI might actually happen. In Pennsylvania, for sure, NEVI is happening. So the ones that were awarded in Pennsylvania very likely will move to construction. And perhaps Wisconsin. There's a lot in Indiana. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Indiana. But let's zoom into here. So again, in Texas, Houston, we've got 3 under construction and 1 already open. So these are Gigahubs. And then we have 1 Travel Center of America, which has not started construction yet. That's a lot of... because these are not small stations. This is not a convenience store putting in 2 chargers. This is an international company putting in major charging infrastructure in the United States, specifically at airports, which is what these red ones are. This green one here is actually at their North American headquarters for the petroleum division. In the parking lot, they put in a very large Gigahub. And then we've got green are the ones that are actually open. The London, Ohio one, which is this one here, actually open, but it's been under maintenance for a while. For what I understand from PlugShare posts, Ben's Eco Adventure has been out of commission for a couple of weeks, and I'm not quite sure what's happening there. be something wrong with the transformer or something, but it is currently out of commission. But it is completed and technically open. And this one here is the Boston Logan Gigahub, and the Milwaukee Airport Gigahub. And then over here, the two in California, this is the Duarte location. That is, I don't even know if I would call that a Gigahub, but it is a location that's soon to be open. It looks to be almost complete. So once again, I have a difficult time coming to the conclusion that this is a greenwashing effort. This does not at all look like a greenwashing effort. In order to get something like this put together and the size of the stations that they're putting in, you have to have a pretty large team that are like, if you're doing greenwashing, what you do is you just, you know, give it off to like one person who just kind of finalizes a couple of details and gets something done. But there's a whole team of people at BP Pulse that are behind the opening of these events, the opening of these stations. And if you look at the event at LAX, the Gigahub, they actually had a ribbon cutting. It was a media event, and the whole team came out in order to participate. And so there's lots of people behind the effort of the North American BP Pulse build. My opinion, definitely not greenwashing. This is unusual that a petroleum company is putting as much effort as they are into electric vehicle charging. Additionally so because they've publicly announced that they're scaling back investment into electric vehicle charging. And yet here we are. Every time I turn around, there's another freaking Gigahub. It actually is maddening. I thought we would have been petering to a halt, but just 3 days ago, I found this picture in Plugshare of another Gigahub starting construction. So it's not like they had some in the pipeline and they were just going to finish those and then complete. This just started construction a few days ago, and right near a major airport in northern Houston. So if you're cautious about placing your faith in a petroleum company as an EV enthusiast, I definitely respect that. But all the evidence to the contrary. It seems to be sincere effort into electric vehicle charging stations that BP Pulse is currently doing. Anyway, thanks for watching.